Hey, church family, thank you for joining us for this week's Daily Connection video. We are talking about how Jesus is a light in the darkness, and what a fitting topic for us to begin to cover as we are talking about Jesus' birth, as that light came to the world. I hope you're thinking on that, meditating on that, the true meaning of Christmas, and what that little baby boy right there in a donkey bowl, really that's what the manger was, a donkey food bowl. I hope you're thinking on all of the significance of that. He came in humble ways for you and for I. He left his throne on high to make a way for us. And so as he is the light of the world, we're going to be looking in the Sermon on the Mount as Jesus begins to tell his followers that they also are the light of the world. And so yesterday, Brother Brent looked at verse 13 and talked about how they are the salt of the earth. And today we're going to be looking at verse 14, where Jesus says this: "You are the light of the world. A city situated on a hill cannot be hidden." Now, this is, we need some context to really understand what's going on here. It was very typical back during Jesus' time that cities were built up on hills. Our author here actually mentions one city specifically called Safed that is northwest of the Sea of Galilee, but that wasn't the only city. Many cities were built up on hills, and the reason is they were built up on hills. Their walls were typically a light color, like a white. So when you're walking out into the desert and you're looking for somewhere to go for some shelter, the sun would reflect off of those white lights and you could see the city from afar away so that you'd know where to go, because they didn't have the big giant green signs with arrows pointing, right? There was no mile markers between the cities. There were no interstates. You had to be looking to go in the right direction and then begin to look for the city in order to find it. And so during the day, the city was like a light in the midst of the light as the sun would reflect off the walls. And then at night, these cities would light lamps along the outskirts of their city so that travelers who were walking through the darkness would be able to see the light there on a hill. And it was up on a hill, elevated so that everyone could see. And so Jesus' original listeners at the Sermon on the Mount, as they hear him talk about, that's the image. That's very common for them. That's how cities were built. They took advantage of the geography, the topography, and so his readers would have been thinking about that. But Jesus isn't talking about just real cities, right? Jesus is saying that you are a city on a hill. His listeners are a city on a hill. You are the light of the world, a city situated on a hill that cannot be hidden. You and I, if you are a believer, we reflect the light of Jesus Christ. Jesus has drawn us out of darkness. He has saved us. And so therefore, because we have the light of Christ in us, we are to shine that light to the world around us, shining the hope that is found in Jesus Christ and found in the gospel. And we show that by the things that we do, by the things that we say, our actions, our everything that every part of our life should be a light to a lost and dying world trapped in darkness. And so I hope that this Christmas season that you are being a light to the world. What better time is there to shine the light of Jesus Christ through you, the hope of the gospel, to a lost and dying world? What better season is there than Christmas to do that? So our author gives us a couple of questions that we can look at. The first one is, how is your life like a city on a hillside? What are you doing in your life that shows the light of Jesus to others? And then the second question, how specifically do Christians live lives shine the light of Jesus? How do Christians as a whole, how do we shine the light of Jesus to a lost and dying world? My hope is that if you find that you are not shining the light of Jesus to a lost and dying world, that you would begin to do that. My hope is also that you would help hold your Christian brothers and sisters accountable, that we would realize we are the front lines of pulling people from the darkness, and that you and I would do all that Christ has called us to do, to see those who are lost in darkness see the city on a hill and find the light of Jesus Christ. So I would encourage you to be evangelists this week, be evangelists this season. As you do that, church family, we want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.